Hey everybody, what's going on? This is your broadcaster, Master Cloud, and it's time for some more of the Battle for Middle-earth 2, The Lord of the Rings, The Rise of the Witch King. Today's matchup, a 1 versus 1 from that April 2015 end of the month tournament held by GameReplays.org, spawning in the lower right-hand side. As the men of the West, it is going to be the player Swegrim, of course, also known as Megrim, although he has juiced up his name here with a little bit of swag, which I do very much like, as I mentioned in the previous cast. And his opponent across the ford, spawning as goblins, it is going to be the player Excalibur. Now, these two players recently faced off against each other. If you guys have not seen match one, definitely go back, take a look at it. Pretty decent game between these two players. Did definitely enjoy casting that one, and very much looking forward to the second game between them to see, of course, if you guys have not seen that, I will be spoiling it now, to see if Excalibur can come back from what is now an 0-1 deficit against his opponent Swegrim, who was able to take him out in that first game as dwarves, really running over a lot of those goblins, especially as soon as you get those battle wagons out. It was just sort of downhill from that point for Excalibur. However, in game 2 here, Excalibur once again has a chance to come back and go for the win. We will actually have to see if this goes on to a game 3. As a reminder, everyone, this is all these games are best 2 out of 3s. So at this point, Swegrim cannot be eliminated. However, Excalibur can if he indeed loses this match. We have a couple Gondor soldiers moving out across the fords of Isen here, of course, the name of the map. And actually not going for the early Warglare attack, will be, in fact, moving out across the map looking for some mines to begin harassing. There has been one placed way down here, almost sort of hidden. You won't get the full resource value for that, but it is much less likely of being spotted. So Excalibur here going for some interesting tactics, has 2 goblin caves already on the field and several goblins, and they will begin to use poison blades and engage these Gondor soldiers, actually get the rally call going down on them, on the Gondor soldiers, and of course the war chant for the goblins. Now I was rewatching the last game, and I don't know if you guys noticed this, but as I was rewatching it, I noticed how Excalibur never built any goblin archers, at least very few if he did pop any out. So he very much focused on just a very heavy goblin spam, goblin warrior spam, and really did not really go for any sort of ranged units in that game. So I will be interested to see if he switches up his tactics for this game or continues to once again just go for a very mass goblin warrior strategies. Of course, those goblin archers much more expensive, 250 over just the 80 resources of the goblin warriors. So of course you can pump out way more goblins warriors way quicker than if you start producing those goblin archers, which are a decent amount more expensive, almost 3 times more expensive. Looks like these goblins will be able to find a farm to the far east side of Swegrim's base here. However, these Gondor soldiers and archers are onto it, and these goblins do not have the best surround. They should have maybe come around the backside here, making it a little bit harder for those archers to get an aim on them, and he will in fact lose them. However, there are more goblins around to the south as well. This unit of goblins fleeing, pulling away this unit of Gondor soldiers, while the second unit begins to work down this farm. And definitely at this point, it is going to be our goblin player Excalibur who is putting on the pressure against the Gondor player Swegrim. Swegrim does have a single unit of Gondor soldiers moving around the backside here, might be able to get this mine. There are some goblins pouring out, could move up to the north and begin to deal with that. This is out of range of the fortress, so that is going to be a nice advantage here for these Gondor soldiers, as they will not be getting shot at by this fortress. However, goblins have been relocated to deal with it, and they might in fact get the mine though before they are taken out. Most likely will. On the lower hand side, looks like this farm will go down. That goes, these goblins jump up to level 2, and these are actually archers. They cannot deal with the goblins up close. They need to have a meat shield in front, but they in fact all, it looks like, will fall here to these goblin warriors unless Swegrim decides to pull them back. In fact, a few of them are, or they're all poisoned at this point, and will in fact all go down. In a second unit of Gondor archers moving in, but having seen what just happened to their friends, I'm not sure that's the best idea. Looks like these Goblin Warriors have not noticed them yet and are losing quite a few of their units here. The level 2 unit will go down. It's a little bit of a loss there for Excalibur, and now several units of Gondor soldiers moving across the center. It looks like the goblins have been slightly distracted here by that attack and have lost the majority of his troops across the field. Does have one unit down here still, but they will get easily taken out by these archers. Of course, the Gondor soldiers much more powerful than that of the Goblin Warriors. The Goblin Warriors only have strength in numbers, but with so many units out right now for our Gondor player, I'm starting to get a little nervous for Excalibur, who it looks like may be losing an additional tunnel here to the south of his base. The heal goes down, as well as the rally call. So it looks like Swegrim here going for that two 5 PowerPoint spells rather than saving up for a higher spell. Excalibur only slightly behind in the power menu. Will be able to get his second power, 5 power right now if he wants to. Could decide to save up instead. Has a nice surround on a lot of these troops. The rally call is still down, so these units are still dealing significant amounts of damage and have increased defense as well. The units on the bottom were able to take out that tunnel and now going for additional tunnel as well. And Excalibur slowly getting pushed back here. Does not have the range support. Once again, has gone for only Goblin Warriors. And although he's getting a ton of Goblin Warriors out on the field, they're not doing the damage they have to do. They're not dealing the damage that they need to deal in order to take out these troops, especially when they are put in that tight formation. They're taking an incredible amount of decreased damage, and they can fight like that all day against these Goblin Warriors. Several of these units actually level 2, I would say, level 2 and level 4. Actually, this unit almost level 5. That's pretty impressive. Of course, level 5 being the highest you can get for a unit, for a ground unit. Unless, of course, I guess you can consider maybe the Knights of Dalamroth, I think, can get a little higher. Just sort of the base, your base units, though, of course, only go up to level 5. Swagrum now once again building his farms on the side of the field that belongs to our Goblin player here, and that is an extremely strong sign of strength, that he feels very confident right now in his play and in his position in this game. Goblin Warriors attempting to move around the map, looking for any potential openings where they can deal damage. However, the Gondor Knights are now out on the field. A very diverse strategy here from Swagrum, going for a diverse amount of troops. A couple of archers, couple of Gondor soldiers, and now the Gondor Knights as well. It looks like we do have the half-troll swordsmen out on the field. They can easily cut through these Gondor soldiers. It's taken our Goblin player a little while to get those out, as he was mainly producing goblins there for a long time. But these will be able to cut through the Gondor soldiers quite quickly here, and they do manage to clean up a large number of the enemy units in this area. However, there's a ton of units still here, a ton of archers really, and there's still no range support for our Goblin player. As you can see above, he has gone for the bats over his fortress. Forgot to mention that earlier. He actually got that out pretty early. Of course, that gives him an incredible amount of vision. Really, he can see, actually, we might be able to actually tell. Yeah, he can see almost all the way across the fort. You can see his vision range here, granted by those bats, so he'll be able to tell if there's any sort of sneak attacks coming. But right now, the attack that he needs to worry about is the one right in the center of the fort, the one that he can see very clearly here. Has a couple of half-troll marauders out now, as well, of course, to deal with those Gondor Knights, which are resting by the pool right now, or by the well right now, gaining a little bit of additional health. More Gondor Knights on the way. Still very basic units here from our men of the West. Swegrim does manage to kill that one goblin there retreating. But I think he's really gone for his own mass unit strategy here. Of course, the goblins, the strategy that you usually want to utilize with them is a very mass unit strategy. And Swegrim basically saying, if you can play that game, I can too. And has gone for very low tier units, but a lot of them. And they should be able to deal with the majority of these goblins pretty easily. Again, still no range support. There goes the rally call down for both sides. Of course, it's technically called war chant for the goblins. We'll get a pretty good surround here with a couple of the goblins coming in from the side. The archers here picking off a lot of units, but are in the front, so they will fall very quickly to a lot of the goblins. However, the units on the left beginning to fall. The men of the West now pushing through the left-hand side here of the goblin army, and that will bring them closer and closer to those swordsmen, of course, who are dealing the most damage to these archers right now. I think these archers need to fall back. Here goes a summon down, though. It is going to be the hobbits by Swegrim. Those hobbits will begin to help immensely and push off the remainder of these goblin forces, including those half-troll marauders. Where are the Gondor Knights? Looks like they are currently in the bottom, taking out a couple of mines, putting our goblin player further and further behind. And with that summon, our men player looking to be in an extremely powerful position. These half-troll swordsmen going to go down as well. He loses them. And the army of Excalibur at this point basically decimated, has nothing to use against this attack, as that level 10 power was just too powerful. The Summon Hobbit allies took out the majority of his remaining troops, and I think that he's basically lost too much at this point. Is going to start to lose some of his production structures here momentarily as all of these units go down as well. The half-troll marauders really haven't gotten to near the Gondor Knights at all, and of course the half-troll marauders not nearly as effective against these troops as they would be against the Gondor Knights. He has not been able to utilize those. And the Hobbits still on the field. Actually, let's check the timer on those. Still have about a third of their timer left. The Gondor Knights continuing to take down the mines, putting Excalibur farther and farther behind. And I think at this point, Swegrim has taken a commanding lead in this game. There is a single unit of goblins moving around down here to the south side. But they're not even attacking right now, as Excalibur very worried about his base, trying to micro these troops as best he can. But really, what can he do against such force that Megrim has brought in this game? These archers picking off the bats overhead as well. They will try and pull back to survive for now. Of course, those bats grant temporary weakness on units underneath them while they survive. However, their timer is running out too, and these archers are going to be able to easily retreat here. A huge army awaiting them back at the base. I'm interested to see if we still see the mass unit strategy. For now, it's just going to be a very mass unit strategy heavy here for our player Swegrim. He hasn't gone up to any siege equipment just yet. I think he's happy with how he's played so far, and basically just wants to continue this strategy, as it seems to be working quite effectively against the goblins. So Swegrim, no doubt, pleased with the strategy he has chosen here, and wants to continue with it, as there's basically no powerful units out for the goblins. Has a lot of these goblin warriors out, but many of them are just going to get picked off once again by these ranged units. And you can see a majority, really almost half of those goblins were able to get picked off there. The remainder of Swegrim's army standing here in the center will be able to pick off this unit of goblin warrior. I don't know why they're running from this unit of goblin warriors. Like a single volley from these archers will be able to take it out, basically. And a couple of units around the backside. Finally, these half-troll marauders able to get in a few hits against those horsemen. However, they are retreating now and should indeed survive that encounter. We do have several more tunnels going up here. However, the builder has been found and is being attacked. Excalibur needs to move it quickly, but doesn't respond quickly enough, and the builder goes down. And that is going to be an expensive loss when he's already reeling from the amount of production or infrastructure, or not infrastructure, the farms that he has on the field, which are technically a type of infrastructure. But I was, of course, trying to say those mines, those resource production facilities. And he does not have the money right now to invest in another builder. So he does have that one still on the field, which I saw rebuilding. I thought, unless that mine was just rebuilding itself, has he actually lost all of his builders? I think potentially he might have lost the other one earlier. So I don't even know if he can produce any more buildings right now. A couple of goblins moving around here to the north side might be able to get a farm or two, but really they're not going to be able to deal any significant damage to the the fortress or any of these really surrounding buildings that are protected by it. And at this point, Excalibur has little to no army, a suitable army to deal with this amount of troops from our Men of the West player. He is not giving up, though, trying to maintain in this game as long as possible, hoping that he might be able to get in a lucky attack. Has Wildmen of Dunlin available that could be utilized really right here in the center to take out a majority of these archers, and that is in fact what he's going to do. Could use the rally call on top of it as well. That is exactly what he's going to do, and might throw down the bats as well. Hey, why not? Totally called that there. But the Gondor, we have a summon going down by Gondor as well, though. It is going to be the Rohirrim summon, and they're going to get a huge charge through on the majority of those troops. The Wildmen standing little to no chance against this amount of Rohirrim, as there was basically no pikemen in that army, and this should be an easy cleanup here with that 15 power by Swegrim. who it looked like his attack might have been thwarted, but Aemir now out up to level 4 already. How long has he been out on the field? Running around dealing a lot of damage, I suppose. And the remainder of these troops going to fall, and with it, I think that is going to be it for Excalibur. He might try and hang on for a little while, has either rebuilt a builder or this builder has come back into my view nevertheless. That builder, I do not know where it is headed, but wherever it is going, it's going right in the front here. This is going to get taken out almost immediately. As Excalibur no doubt realizes that this game is most likely over here. So congratulations. I'm going to be calling it a little bit early, but to me it seems like there is no way back in this for a Goblin player. He has a pretty built-up fortress, but he just has no way to launch any sort of counteroffensive. Fire arrows now being upgraded to all of these Gondor archers, and Excalibur is going to fall. So Swegrim here, really our tournament favorite, I would say at this point, is going to be advancing to the semifinals, to the semifinal round. So congratulations to him. A hard-fought, but I suppose feudal battle against such a powerful player as Swegrim by Excalibur. Nevertheless, a great game to both players. I hope you guys are enjoying these matches. Definitely more to come, and we will hopefully be seeing some of the semifinals and finals games soon to figure out who actually won this tournament, as I still do not know myself, and I'm trying so hard not to look at the results, and so I can cast these games for you guys without knowing the outcomes. I hope you guys have enjoyed this cast. As always, please like, comment, and subscribe. It helps my channel grow. Of course, helps the Rise of the Witch King community grow as well. And of course, for any more information on both Rise of the Witch King, the new patch, as well as any additional details such as tournaments, stuff, maps, patches, stuff like that, definitely check out the website, gamereplays.org. That's all for now, guys. Master Cloud signing out.